Yeah, the internet just went out again. I hate when that happens. It's so frustrating for no reason. It lasted literally 2 seconds. Thanks to the resub. Addicted. And the resub undead null.
Now he is too old and out of shape to do what he once could, which prevents him from staying focused. He has tons of real friends out there, Steve-O, Brendan Novak, Rab, that will actually help him get better and be a positive influence. But you have to want to get better. He needs to accept that the Viva La Bam days are over. It's time to grow up, kick everybody out of Castle Bam, and be
Viva
a father
La
to your
Bam
son.
never
He could still get
dies.
into producing movies or directing, maybe
Thanks
working
to
with
the resub
aspiring
Bobby
skaters or
Hill and the
stuntmen. It
Bits
could be a
Bricks.
healthy thing to focus on, as long as drugs and alcohol aren't involved. He has plenty of money. His father did right by him managing his finances. But one day, his father won't be there. Bam will need to figure out how to manage and budget his life. I genuinely hope Bam figures out his sobriety. He was a staple of many of our childhoods, and he changed skateboarding forever. He molded the recipe for viral stunts and videos that have dominated the internet for the past 20 years. He literally created culture. I do believe he still has a lot to offer to this world, but right now he needs to focus on closing the door on the past and putting his health and his family first. I wish the best of luck for you, Bam. Things are going to get better.
That's wholesome. I think Bam will eventually get better. I think all he needs to do is get addicted to something less bad. Like League of Legends.
Ooh.
Or Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
True.
Mm-hmm. Replace an addiction with a less severe addiction.
That's what I've always said.
It's the resub poop. Look up the Korean poop wine. It's the alcohol where they dilute children's shit in it.
Excuse me, what?
I don't think I can watch that on Twitch, man. I'll tell you right now, it seems unlikely. Thanks, resub chance. Apparently Amber Heard's attorney objected to his own question earlier. Which is pretty fucking awesome, actually.
What an actual asshat.
Yeah, that's a power move, though. Ask a question and then object to it.
Like, whoops, didn't mean that one, sorry. please move on. Gloss over that one. That guy's just been taking nothing but L's, man.
I know. Since you brought up stand-up earlier, have you heard the rapper T.I. is doing stand-up? If you can call it stand-up. The only thing I've seen from T.I.'s stand-up is he got mad when a girl made fun of him. So he went on, he went up to her and tried to, rip the mic out of her hand. It's not really stand-up. He goes there to get offended and mad. Thanks, a gift sub hoodie. Yeah, we watched it earlier, Bricks. That's what I was saying. Maybe Mac. I want to watch one of these two next. I just haven't decided what. I'll give stream a second to get fired up again since it crashed for no fucking reason. Did you hear about Quantum? Oh yeah, this will be interesting to you as well, Caleb. Quantum TV is threatening Ackman's mom. He was sending her texts and called her apparently or some shit.
Bro, I'll fight Quantum's dad if he does that.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. That man is not well. Thanks to the resub potato and the gift sub potato. It's a different one. Back-to-back potatoes. Nice. Actually going to court now? Yeah, Ackman should really pull the trigger on a lawsuit. I absolutely think he should be taking Quantum TV to court. That's legitimate stalking and harassment.
That's so fucking creepy, dude.
All over him having a horrible opinion that people made fun of.
That's fucking nuts. Imagine literally being that dumb.
Yeah. Elon Musk did buy Twitter, that's right. Could he live stream the court case since it's civil? I don't know, man. I'm not a fucking lawyer. I think it's a tier 1 meat slayer.
It'd be kind of a fire
Some
live stream.
Dr. Baker. That would be a great live. I would love to live stream a court case.
That'd be fucking nuts.
That'd be so cool.
Imagine.
XQC was? XQC live streamed a real court case? Like in person? When? How did I miss that?
And also, why? Whose case? His?
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently he was on the stand. Was it like a skit or a real case? Oh, I see. It wasn't in person. I see. It was a live stream of another live stream. I'm talking like literally set up cameras in the court, just like Amber Turd right now. Like the whole Johnny Depp Amber Turd case. You can't do that. Yeah, but why? Has anyone ever asked? Because the Johnny Depp Amber Turd case has been like completely broadcast top to bottom pretty much. So why not me? I'll go there as a member of the press and we'll have some fun. Sounds like a good way of getting contempt of court, but it'd still be like quite the ride, I'd think.
I agree.
Thanks to the gift sub IO. And the bids Paleo and resub Shadow. What happened to the lights in your room? It's a lot darker now. Bro, I'm in a log cabin. What are you talking about? It's not my room. Oh yeah, also, what happened to the lights? It went like completely pitch black.
The webcam did?
I don't know. Oh, it's because since the stream crashed, it reset to the default settings.
Oh, you want me to change it?
Nah, it's fine. It's very moody.
It's really not. It's not. It's gonna disconnect you.
Here.
Yeah.
Which one did you change?
Yeah, change the gain. So you go back to camera control. Flip exposure up to -5. Like,
oh.
Yeah. Then put the gain down to 132, I believe.
Nice.
When did that become such a fucking tech whiz, dude?
I don't know. Good work, though.
Jesus Christ.
The sheriff.
Look at that, dude.
Thanks a bit, Saint and Tori. Oh, fuck yeah. Thanks for the raid, Amaranth. Hope you had a good stream. And thanks for your sub, Frenchie. And the gift sub, IO.
My lady.
Thanks for the resub shower. You've been in Texas too long now. you've gone off the rails. Man puts on a cowboy hat and gets like -50 IQ. I'm excited for you guys to see the videos we filmed today out in the fucking wild safari. Thanks to the Prime Idiot and the resub shower. Yeah,
Oh God, no, it's clipped.
we're in Texas for the next how many days? 7 days?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, I think 7 days. 7 or 8, I think.
Shit's gonna be fucking nuts.
Thanks to Prime Aboki.
Do you want to shoot a flamethrower or like not at stake, but like, do you just want to do that?
Well, yeah, we are doing that. It just won't be at stake. It's part of the guns thing.
What about chicken?
I mean, you could probably ask them to get like raw chicken out there, I guess, and shoot it with a flamethrower. Or even another country. It fucking feels like it, man. Texas is wild. Shit's fucking crazy.
EE cheating on Schooled?
Did EE cheat on Schooled? Damn. Alright, which one do you think? Super Mario Sunshine or... Let's do Resident Evil, because it's a little shorter first. Had any good food yet? Yeah, we went to a local spot here in Texas. It was pretty fucking good. It's called like Cracker Barrel.
Sony take the stage at E3.
Kind of slap.
The crowd
And then we also did
silences
that
for the
chicken joint,
games being
Cane's?
previewed, to then
Yeah.
boom with excitement as Kratos shows his face.
Then show me what you know. I am hungry.
Days Gone's preview was up next,
Days
followed by
Gone
the
is
long-awaited
trash.
showcase and release date, The Last Guardian.
Thanks, resub
The
Zillacummies.
beautiful Horizon Zero Dawn followed that, which was then followed up by Detroit Become Human. Everything was getting such amazing reception. But then a screen shows up. Full PlayStation virtual reality experience.
PSVR, baby, let's go.
If you don't get out of there, they will kill you. Get out now.
Oh
Crowd
wait, I
is
forgot the
silent.
closed captions for you.
The
My bad,
atmosphere
man.
is dark, ominous, creepy,
Oh, now I
almost
know what's going
unsettling.
on.
That was my bad. Forgot. Did you play Resident Evil 7?
No, I did not.
You
The
should. You'd
VHS
like it.
tape plays,
Doesn't he,
showing a
get his
questionable
hand cut
series
off
of
and just,
events.
manages to do well anyways.
Yeah. You'll see. It's really
What the
interesting.
fuck am I supposed to do? God damn it. I'm probably gonna end up like
Thanks, you sub
The
Dan.
rendition of Go Tell Aunt Rhody plays.
God, this game was good. Replayed it,
There
what, a
it
year ago?
is.
Still slaps.
Resident Evil 7 appears on the screen, followed by a message that the demo will be playable that very night.
Yeah! Gamers win
This
again.
is the beginning of our dive into how Resident Evil 7 became the game responsible for popularizing Resident Evil speedrunning.
Distortion used to have the world record in this game, right?
The
Pretty much
entire
every game that
Resident
came out in the
Evil
last
community
10
boomed
years, he
with
has the record in for a
excitement
while,
upon
I
the game's
think.
trailer. Everyone could not stop talking about every possible thing we may witness in the upcoming continuation of the series. Extensive research of the demo began, and many veterans uncovered truly wild things. A part of this gigantic community is a very niche group of individuals, people who put themselves to the test of time. Speedrunners.
Mm-hmm.
For
Heroes.
years, Resident Evil speedrunning was
Legends.
known to have a large
You
amount
really
of
need to
runners,
speedrun something,
spanning
Caleb.
many
I
games,
feel like I'm missing out.
but maintained a smaller, tight-knit community. In fact, the horror speedrunning community was quite small for many, many years. Communities for lesser-known
watched
horror
some
titles were
speedrunning
a
of this game on
handful of
Twitch,
people,
believe it or
and
not, like
activity
ducking
was
and getting around
completely
this guy.
dead for long periods of
Nice.
time.
Yeah.
Resident
Pretty
Evil was
important.
always
It's
the
like a car you
series
get
that
into.
stood out in the genre. Despite so many runners, the Resident Evil community never really got a lot of attention from the larger speedrunning scene, nor was it ever
the
close
roots
to
were
being as
boring, that's why.
popular to watch as dozens of other games and series. It was a robust community, but pretty
What if I
low-key.
speedran Sonic Adventure 2?
That'd be huge.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
You played 8 at all, Charlie? Yeah, I played
The
pretty much
most
every Resident
attention
Evil.
it ever got
except for,
was
like,
from
half
Games
of
Done
them.
Quick, where it always received a positive response from the crowds and viewers alike. These events definitely gave the scene a bit of a boost at times, but not enough to really encourage a lot of new runners. I'd say this is because of the very basic mechanics and lack of game-breaking tricks in most of the
Exactly.
games.
It's just a boring
Without some
route.
experience of the series, it's hard to understand how these simplistic mechanics become so difficult to execute perfectly. And I mean perfectly.
I like Resident Evil 5. I like Resident Evil 5 too.
Is Leon 5 or 4?
Perfect movement,
Leon's
perfect
4,
menuing,
but he's
perfect
also
boss
in
fights.
2.
Along with that,
right.
some
Raccoon City,
games in
right?
this
Yep.
series involve a heavy amount of luck. It may not be flashy most of the time, but it
No,
is very
Leon's not.
impressive
Is
to
Leon
see
in
Resident
5?
Evil
Leon's
being played
5
at
is
such a
Chris
high level.
Redfield, right? It's all Chris Redfield.
Years before the announcement of Resident Evil 7, it was pretty common to see Resident Evil 1, 2,
Isn't Resident Evil 4 like on every
3,
platform ever? Like
or
you literally
4
play it on
amongst the
mobile?
top
Like your-
100 active games
your
on
Nokia?
speedrun.com.
No, that's Doom.
A lot
but
of these
yeah,
runners
Resident
stream
Evil
their
4
runs
has a lot
on
of
Twitch
ports.
and also upload them to YouTube, or other alternative sites. Some of the games even
Yeah,
had hundreds
2,
of
4,
thousands
and
of views at
6.
the time, before
6
the
sucks,
series'
though.
rise in popularity. It was plain to see the runs had an audience, and there were plenty of runners to keep pushing down the times. Because of this, and the continuous rising popularity of streaming and content creation, Resident Evil 7 seemed like it was the perfect opportunity for the existing community to dive
Thanks for
headfirst
resub,
into a
Romo.
new game. January 23rd comes, and many content creators were given permission to stream the game early, as well as release videos from what they had played a week or so beforehand.
God, the game is
Release
good.
date viewership on Twitch and YouTube was at an all-time high for the series,
Woo-wee!
and it wasn't even out yet. Within the first 24 hours, videos from so many people were uploaded and covered practically everything you could think of. Tips and tricks to beating Madhouse difficulty, guides for finding every collectible.
I think Resident Evil 7 might be the best
achievement
Resident
hunting,
Evil.
and even story explanations.
For me, it's
Amongst
either
the many
Resident Evil 7
streams
or
and
Resident Evil
videos
2
you would
Remake.
expect from a big new release were the handful of runners who had already attempted to speedrun the game without any routing or preparation.
Oh shit. Fuck, I forgot about that one. God damn it.
These streams gained traction very quickly. Most of these people took part in the New Game Plus run. Now, get this. In order to run New Game Plus,
Thanks for resub, Ben.
runners would already have needed to beat the game once to acquire the Madhouse difficulty and the Albert handgun. That's simple enough. But then, they would also have to beat it again on Madhouse to acquire unlimited ammo. And then they would have to beat the game again
Or you just use cheat
in
engine.
under 4 hours to acquire the circular saw, while also destroying all of the Mr. Everywhere bobbleheads to acquire the walking shoes. This meant that there were already dozens of people who had practically played the game non-stop since release, and they were also already attempting speedruns. And the game has been out for 1 day. I mean, things were
That is pretty
escalating so
crazy,
quickly
actually.
that the runs went from a little over 2 hours to 1 hour and 40 minutes within a 12-hour time span. This dramatic drop in time was primarily done by an already known RE4 runner named Sterling. His stream was getting so much attention, and his time was already
Let's
getting
go,
so much
Sterling.
lower that even Destructoid speedran an article on the 26th about his 151.02, claiming that the game was already being beaten in under 2 hours. This was massive. Funny enough, by the time that article was already out, Sterling had achieved the 142.
142.43. We subbed 143, baby.
After that, many runners started achieving similar times.
Then they
Bob
eventually
Soup,
find a cool
Trance,
glitch.
Zarian,
Spoiler
Distortion
alert.
2, Punchy, Nemi, and many more
Glitches make the
were
world
all
go
bringing their
round.
times down
Mhm.
significantly. The forums on speedrun.com were filled with questions, tricks, category discussions, in-game time scripts, and differences between versions. One of the most important discoveries for the game was also in the forums. The main house out-of-bounds trick. A way of manipulating Jack to grab you from behind, turn you around,
Probably
and
cuts
click
so
you
much
through the
cinematic
wall
time,
at the end
too.
of the main hallway staircases. Potential skips were brewing for days after this.
Oh my God.
This skip allows you to pick up the red key card before fighting Jack in the basement, but a certain flag in the game's coding prevented runners from using it until over a year later. But we'll get more into that later. This was only 3 days after release, and there were already almost 50 runs completed by different people in various categories. 50 may not seem like a lot,
It definitely
but
seems like a
let
lot
me
if you
give
ask
you
me.
some perspective with examples of 2 other games that released in 2017 that you would expect to have a ton of activity. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild had about 20-ish fully completed
Forgot
runs
that came out in
in the first
2017.
month.
I was gonna say, 'cause this
Resident
kinda
Evil
reminded me of
7
Breath
had
of the Wild,
100
like,
plus
speedrun
runners
population.
in less than a week.
It has to.
Yeah.
For more perspective,
100
later
plus
that
in a
year,
day.
Super Mario
month.
Odyssey, one of the biggest speed games ever, had 100 plus runners in the first week as well. Resident Evil 7 speedrunning was almost on the same level of activity and popularity as the most popular series for speedrunning of all time. 2 weeks after release, 200 people were running New Game Plus, and this number did not
Thanks
stop
for
rising.
cattle.
Along with the New Game Plus category being ran so much, the first week showed promise for other categories as well. New Game Easy and Madhouse were both being routed and ran quite a bit.
Man, what is up with the quality
Exterminator
here?
and Plaku were
It
showing
actually looks
pretty
like
good
PlayStation
potential
1.
in their runs of New Game Easy.
You see that? It's like all blurry and
while
shit.
Carcinogen
It's fucking
SDA
crazy.
and Jigsaw Killer opted for the Madhouse difficulty.
That's creepy.
People were even beating the game with only the knife, which wasn't even thought to be possible until runners discovered that the first Marguerite fight is
Sounds
in fact
awful.
beatable without damaging her. Remember how I said Sterling achieved a 142 after the first 2 days? Well, by the end of the week, New Game Plus was at a 132. New boss strats, tiny movement tricks, optimal menus, they were all being hammered out and changed every day. It's exciting for sure, but definitely a bit draining. So much that some runners took a few
People
days
playing
in
in
between
lower res
runs
to make the
avoid
knife
having
hit
to
more
repeat
due to
this
higher
ongoing
FPS.
cycle of
Interesting.
going to bed, waking up, and having
So
to
you're locked
basically
by how
relearn a
many-
bunch of stuff.
How many
But for the
frames the animation
content
takes?
creators,
I guess,
that
I don't know.
was
wild.
gold. And this content is actually a huge factor in the game's rising popularity as well.
That's pretty cute.
I was a part of this content creation gold, streaming the game daily for long hours, doing multiple playthroughs with various
let's
setups,
go.
and testing stuff for other runners, and even doing runs myself.
Please get out of the elevator, dude. Oh my god, what are you doing?
I was even the first person to discover multiple
Is
out-of-bounds
that true? Charlie, the dude that made the text in the "This man will never get a date" is trying to sue you. Search "I'm suing Ping." Oh, I know what that is. That's not a real thing. That's a meme. Are you the guy that made that video and you're trying to get me to watch it with a fake story? Because that's fucking genius.
Good job.
I've never seen that tactic before. Yeah, I know what video you're talking about. Smart. That was an interesting way of selling it.
And not even caught red-handed, nerd.
Yep.
routes that could have potentially cut the game by an entire 20 to 30 minutes, but alas, the game is made so well that sequence breaking it is seemingly impossible outside of the red keycard strat. But wow, did this make for some exciting content and some really fun streams. This also brought about a lot of positivity amongst runners and streamers who were simply enjoying the game and seeing growth and gains from a series that wasn't necessarily that popular on Twitch beforehand. Resident Evil 7 really brought a lot of new people to the scene and introduced them to veterans of the series who streamed the games often. People who had never seen Resident Evil speedruns were suddenly intrigued by Resident
So when
Evil
did they
7's
find like the
huge
big glitches?
boom
Because
in
I know they
activity,
eventually got
and
it pretty
led them
far
down a
down.
path that a lot of us have been down. The rabbit hole
Exit
of
Prime, him.
YouTube. Typing Resident Evil, insert number or name here, speedrun in the search bar, and finding so many results they never thought existed. Thanks to Resident Evil 7, the Resident Evil speedrunning community finally had their first time in the
Haven't watched it
spotlight
yet, Potato,
outside
but
of
I
the
will.
hour or two that it had on Games Done Quick maybe twice a year. It was their chance to shine bright and show that the horror community had some serious talent. Soon enough, more and more runners started getting even more love as the Resident Evil 7 craze transferred over to other games in the series, and even other games in the horror community in general. Speaking of games done quick, a lot of dedicated viewers of GDQ were more likely to pick up Resident Evil 7 now,
Hills.
knowing that it's the newest
Silent
game in the
Hill?
Yeah, it was
series,
Silent Hill.
and was one of the most accessible and simple runs to learn. Resident
Thanks for the
Evil
10 gift subs, Space.
1996,
Fuck
the OG, by Raw Dirt,
Appreciate it, man. Thank
and
you.
Resident Evil Code Veronica
What a
by
technical
Pessimism were the
limitation
two
on the
Resident
string,
Evil runs
which is
performed
fucking
at
right
SGDQ
there.
2017. Despite being great runs, the activity for those games did not spike. It was still Resident Evil 7 spiking in activity. Over the course of the next few months after
There's
SGDQ,
distortion.
competition between top
Oh,
runners
he's falling.
grew fierce, and
Oh,
saving
God.
time started to become difficult without forming some new strategies. Because of this,
These
a
are
lot
some
of these
baller.
top runners would grind the game for hours and hours with no improvement. And you would think people would stop watching as much, but people were still watching intently, and new runners were making their way into the scene and climbing the boards. One of which was Sarthex, who would keep the New Game Plus world record at 129.31 for 13 months.
Damn, not a
Despite
bad
this,
run.
there was still a ton of activity for the category, Runners were making their way into the top 10, and some of them were even snagging the legendary sub 130.
Ja! Die ersten Erfolge von 1:29:54.
Wow, the captions aren't even trying.
Viewership in general did take a bit of a dip during some of these months, but there was a pretty large increase in a certain month as well.
And it does look like we're ready to throw it over to Carcinogen for Resident
GDQ!
Evil 7 Biohazard New Game Madhouse.
January 9th, 2018. Games Done Quick was already a few days in, and Resident Evil 7 would have its first showcase at the event. Carcinogen SDA took the stage with New Game Madhouse, and one of the most popular GDQ runs of all time began. And what a treat it was. This run was highly anticipated, and for the time, it was a very solid showcase that didn't disappoint.
Where's she gonna pop out?
Where is she? Behind you. Yeah, there she is.
Oh, God.
What do I find interesting about speedrunning?
With the game or not,
the glitches and mastering them and pushing the game to its limits.
Oh, man.
I'm not even biased because I was on commentary. Yeah, you see that guy? Yeah, that guy, right there. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. The run was the second most popular run of the entire event, and it's still in the top 10 most viewed runs on the GDQ YouTube channel, with 2.2 million views. After this run, it was no surprise that people were looking up all of the various runs of Resident Evil 7 and diving into running the game themselves. The Naughty Hero and End of Zoe DLCs had just released a few weeks before this as
DLC
well,
speedruns
so
aren't
runs
nearly
for
as
those
cool.
were pretty fresh. Those DLCs were actually a really good start for
Agreed.
some people who were interested in running, as they were much shorter and a bit less intimidating. This gave runners something new to optimize their times in, while not having to spend as many hours doing attempts. Although,
I
the
thought
main
I remembered
game
Resident
runs
Evil
were
7
still the
having a
ones with
really
most
like
activity.
big
Thanks to
glitch,
that GDQ run,
like out
a
of
lot of
bounds.
people were introduced to Resident
Besides
Evil
just that
7
Jack
speedrunning,
clip.
and it wasn't the only big boost the game got in 2018 either. The next two were even more important, as they would bring old runners back into the scene and also encourage a wave of new
It was
world
really just the
records
Jack clip?
across almost all categories. May 29th, 2018. A skip called Lantern Skip was found. To do this, you would have to line yourself up in a very specific spot and then drop down into the hole where you fought Marge for the first time. When done correctly, the game will progress as normal, without the need to interact with the lantern door for the phone call.
Good.
Therefore, Marge will take the lantern and retreat to the greenhouse without having to spend the time running to the lantern door and back.
Fuck is Myth Force?
I'm glad you asked. It's a roguelike, but I got out of bounds. Shit was kind of nuts.
Nice.
And this didn't save a ton of time.
That's pretty
But
good.
it was still very important, as the competition grew fierce in the months after this. While this discovery was pretty big, it wasn't as big as the next one.
Alright, here we go. Finally,
1
some
month
good
later,
glitches.
on June 28th, Ross Rossi found a way to finally execute the out of bounds in a useful way by picking up the red keycard early without soft locking. Now, this was done by making Jack follow you through the hallway after dropping down from the bathroom and then shooting him to stun him. This would give you the time to get far away enough from Jack to have the game let you solve the Eagle puzzle, but still have Jack close by to perform the out of bounds afterwards. The Eagle puzzle is what allows you to progress the game after obtaining the red keycard early, and the skip itself allowed you to pick up some enhanced handgun ammo early as well. This was a big discovery and made it much more feasible to acquire new records in almost every category. Upon these new discoveries, plenty of runners implemented them into their runs, and former runners returned to the game as well. This caused a big spike in activity and provided a ton of new content for everyone to enjoy yet again. After runners started working on getting new personal best times with the out of bounds and lantern skip, Sarthex's PC New Game Plus record was practically obsolete. The first runner to achieve a new record with the out of bounds was none other than the person who found out how to implement it in the first place. Ross Rossi achieved a 129.33 on his
Let's go,
PlayStation
Ross!
4,
Whee!
and everyone knew this would really shake things up. Just a week after the discovery, Ticknaldo achieved a 129.13, successfully beating the 13-month-old PC New Game Plus record.
Uh-oh. Guys, is it still? Is it still record?
Let's go!
That's nuts.
And a week after that, M. Dust achieved a 128.25, which was a whopping 48 seconds faster.
128.25.
I'd be so mad.
Let's fucking go.
And a
What
week
if your
after
record got
that,
beat like that?
Distortion
Bro,
2
I think
returns to
that's
the
the
game
problem with
to
speedrunning
achieve
for
a
me. I'd get mad if I got
128.09.
knocked off.
Even
knocked off,
Horror
like,
Does
top 100 or
Speedruns, a
whatever.
new game
No,
category
that's the
runner
fun
who's
of it.
fairly new
No,
at the time,
no, no,
entered
no.
the New Game Plus mix and achieved a
I get it.
128 fairly quickly. Speaking of the new game category, Melon Turtle, Silurion, and MF Doom swapped records often for months before this discovery, and brought the category from a 133 to a 131.
I really
Sandy,
thought it got
ones
faster.
between
I
each
thought this one
letter.
was a
I
crazy
don't know how
one.
to say this guy's name.
It's pretty standard.
Anyways, Sandy, Catlink, and Horror Speedruns were also all other notable runners of New Game, and they were all working hard to improve the category. The new Out of Bounds only boosted activity in this as well, and a couple weeks after its discovery, Horror Speedruns was the first runner to get a new record with the Out of Bounds, beating Silurion by a whopping 38 seconds. A similar tale to how New Game Plus started to look after the discovery. This is the time when Resident Evil 7 would see a lot of optimization and new tiny strats to save as much time as possible.
Oh, just baby
it was truly
strats.
a great showcase of community-driven work
Lame.
and dedication to the game. The Resident Evil speedrunning community grew so much just from this one game, and over the course of 2017 and 2018, there were almost 1,000 new Resident Evil speedrunners. Around 700
Is Super
of
Mario
them
64 the
were
most speedrun
purely
game
from
ever?
Resident Evil
I
7.
imagine it has to
This
be.
game is truly
Yeah.
what made Resident
It'd
Evil
either be that or
speedrunning
Ocarina of
popular,
Time.
and it resulted
Or the
in its
OG
community getting some
Mario
serious
game.
recognition,
Just
more
Super Mario
amazing
Bros.
Oh, Super
marathon
Mario Bros. Maybe,
showcases, more viewership for various content
was
creators,
the first
and way
speedrun
more
game
praise
ever?
from the speedrunning community for the dedication
first
of runners from
speedrun
various
game.
games in the
First
series.
speedrun game. Like what was?
And
what
it
was the
never
first one to ever
truly
be speedrun
stopped.
consistently?
Resident Evil 2 Remake
That goes
came
all the way
out,
back to like high
and,
scores,
well,
so it'd
that
be like
game has
something on the
over
Atari.
6,000 runs,
Pong.
with about 1,250
No,
players
I don't think
total.
it'd be Pong.
Speedrun-wise, Resident Evil 3 Remake is also pretty active,
Pac-Man,
but
maybe?
not as
Donkey
much as
Kong.
RE2 Remake.
Donkey Kong.
I'd say this is most likely because of
Definitely
negative
Donkey Kong.
reception it received
Joe
from a
Rogan.
lot of
Don't you
fans.
say that to me.
Can't really run a game a whole lot if you don't like it, right?
He's good, right?
He's still alive.
After
yeah.
Resident
Warren
Evil
Saber?
7's release,
Joe
you
Rogan.
can always expect the next game in the series to be a hit for speedrun.
I've seen too much
Which
about her.
leads me to my
The game
final
scares me
point
now.
for this video.
Oh, you need to play that one too.
Ethan Winters. Welcome.
Hey, the game was pretty good. I'm
Another
from the
game with
future.
quadruple-digit runners within a year, like Resident Evil 2 Remake, a slow burner like Resident Evil 3 Remake, or somewhere in between like Resident Evil 7. Whichever one it may be, it's safe to say that Resident Evil 7 gave the Resident Evil speedrun community and the horror speedrunning community in
I
general
have seen that
the
before.
time and the spotlight that it needed to become what it is today. So thank
Is
you,
Jill like a
Resident Evil 7,
character?
and thank you to the Resident Evil
Yeah,
7
Jill's in
speedrunning
Resident
community.
Evil.
Thanks to all of the people who put so much work into the game early on, and to the
Jill
people who
was Chris
continue
Redfield,
to put work
sidekick,
in today.
I think.
You're all seriously awesome, and I'm
Or no,
very
that was
happy
Claire.
to have
I
been a
think that
part
was
of it
Claire.
all since the very first day.
I'm fucking
May
forgetting
we
so many
continue
names.
to enjoy our
seen this
time
like
with the
80
game
times.
and bond as a community over it.
There's a prime spook. Man, I don't remember.
Thank you so much for watching.
was good.
And I hope you enjoyed my little shout-out video to a pretty cool community. If you haven't already done so, please take a
Joe was
moment to
3 and 5.
subscribe to the channel, and give the video a like, and comment something you love about
Claire is
Resident Evil
Leon's
7
sidekick.
or any of the runners from the Resident Evil speedrunning community. I also stream on Twitch full-time, so feel free to follow me on there,
Is there some
and
Geo?
tune in when I'm live. I speedrun quite a bit
Remember how
myself,
fun it
and
was
have a
to
bunch of
escort
world
Ashley,
records.
am I right?
Quite a few of them are here on this channel if you want to take a gander.
Oh, you're such
I
a
also want to
gamer.
give a huge
No,
thank
dude.
you to
What a
Humbledon
good
for editing
time.
this video, and I also want to thank all of the runners and Games Done Quick for allowing me to use their footage and give them some love in this video. Much love to you, and thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Bye bye. I don't think I'll speedrun Resident Evil 7 though. There's not enough like crazy glitches or tech for me. But I always love a good story. Oh my
Speedruns Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
No, the speedruns fucking suck. I mean, they're hard as shit, but there's not like a ton of crazy glitches. I think Tony Hawk Underground actually has a cool route. Let me see.
What about SSX Tricky? That'd be a good game of speedrun.
Ooh, this is a 33-second route.
Oh, wow. So 33 second or 33 minute?
Or minute, I meant minute, sorry. Oh, you remember Tony Hawk American Wasteland?
I do.
Oh my god, that one was so good. $55 minutes. Yeah, this one, that sounds about right.
Oh wait.
I put so much time in this game and never beat it.
Actually, has a special character.
Bounty Hunter with Django Fett.
Ooh.
Oh,
well, that's 100%. Where's the? Is there an any percent route? I guess this 115.
Dude, I feel like if with a little bit of try, you can do that. Just get that.
I don't know, man. It's probably tough.
Oh my god, this looks so bad.
No, it looks exactly like I remember.
God, I love this fucking game. You remember just like going around and like scanning people to see if there were bounties on them?
No, I don't remember this shit at all, man. I really don't.
What? Oh?
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 Oh? Thanks to the resub Farrer.
You could run them in Tony Hawk. That's what made me think of this. God, this game was so much fucking fun.
I disagree. I didn't really like it that much. I did play it, I just don't remember it.
Well, that's because you were probably buns at it.
Yeah, it's probably shit. I remember the cover was really cool. It had Django Fett flying and like aiming down. It was cool. Like, look at the level design.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful.
We were just on the same wavelength there. Like, the level design's pretty
This is terrible, yeah. Bro, I probably wouldn't be able to beat this game now. I just get lost.
But this is like one of the first games where like you had the ability to like basically Ratchet and Clank it, where you had like a jetpack to fuck around with.
Yeah, I guess.
A lot of fun, man. This guy's going ham though.
They're making 13 new Star Wars games right now. You know that?
That's absolutely atrocious sounding.
Yeah.
None of them are gonna get the love they need.
Respawn's making 2 of them. Oh, yeah, this game's pretty fucking awful looking.
Alright, well, never talk again. Whatever, eh?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 has a 5-minute speedrun.
Wait, before I say anything else, did anybody watch Steve Irwin when they were a kid?
Well, everyone did. Yeah.
And did he or did he not consistently? I love you, Sal. It's like, did he or did he not consistently look through shit all the time? Elephant shit, camel shit, fucking dog shit, rat shit, capybara shit.
I never said he didn't. By the way, that was Matt and Danny saying he didn't.
He loved shit. Yeah, bro. I squat down today and I'm like looking through poop with a stick and a rock, and Matt looks at me like I'm a fucking alien, dude.
Well, yeah, you were also just looking. Like, Steve Irwin, when he was looking through shit, was in order to give us, like, an educational lesson. You were looking through it trying to tell us whether or not it ate hay.
And it did. It was clearly an herbivore.
I mean, I guess, but that's not exactly the in-depth analysis Steve Irwin would give while looking through shit.
Well, I didn't see any teeth, meaning it wasn't carnivorous.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
I didn't see any of that, okay? Clearly an herbivore. It was a man-bear pig.
It could have been. I guess it could have been anything, honestly. We didn't get enough shit analyzed. It seems like a tough route for me. Hey, well, wish you the best of luck with it, Paleo. Thanks for the resub, Brandon. Have you seen the EDP Simulator speedruns? No.
Oh, no. That's a game.
It is a game. I just didn't know there were speedruns.
Is it
2:10 is the record?
Is it how quickly you can find a cupcake and lie about it?
It's the runaway. Oh, I actually have seen these. You just play the game normally. You collect the cupcakes. Thanks, Prime Smock. The story of Let Me Solo Her. I already watched it. Look up the speedrun for Zubamufu. Oh my god, I can't say that. Zubumafu. This? Oh, this is an old side scroller. Oh, not this one, the old PS1 one. What was it, the lemurs? This one?
Yes.
Ratchet and Clank does have cool speedruns.
I don't know, I feel like I went to go replay that game and I was like, man, this seemed a lot better back then.
You played Zubumafu?
Bro, I used to love Zabumafu when I was a kid, dude. That shit went hard.
What was it? I've heard the name, but I don't remember this.
Bro, he's a little fucking lemur and he just goes around there like Zabumafu. It's just a good time.
I don't remember that at all. Was it a cartoon or something?
It was like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a combination where it was like this like animatronic and then there was also like a real lemur sometimes. Like there was a puppet and there was like a real lemur. And it was just a good time. And then also like some claymation on the side, dude. Shit was nuts.
That sounds crazy. No, I don't think I ever watched it.
You have to
Let's get
rewatch
some paleo.
Just get a chance. Give it a look. Top tier.
I don't think I've ever watched it. Alright, but I will watch this
cement
after I go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Alright.
I'm just gonna mute stream, otherwise it's just gonna be the sound of tinkle.
I can yell over it.
Thanks to the gift sub paleo and the resub silver. Well, you can give it a try if you want.
La 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 la.
A little pee-pee never hurt.
Alrighty. Tinkle, tinkle, little star. If you listen closely, you can hear Charlie. Thank you. Don't mute. Coin flip? No. So, guys, I don't know if I look more like Doug Dimmadome or Curious George's fucking like chaperone. What is Curious? Is Curious George is the fucking monkey, right?
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to stream. I don't care about what you say. No, but do you know? All right, take your time. Yeah, who is the man in yellow? George was the dude?
I speedrun. What was your question?
Oh, that's right. This stinks out here. Who was the guy that Curious George was walking around with the yellow hat and the yellow suit?
Fucking Paul Bunyan. I don't remember.
Paul Bunyan.
I don't remember.
American
who the fuck it was.
hero. American legend.
Everyone's giving different names. I don't know who it was. Some people are saying Jim. I'm seeing a lot of Jims.
Jim? Nah, no shot, dude.
He was just called the man in the yellow hat. Here, we'll just look it up.
No way.
Man in the yellow hat?
That is so bizarre.
Oh, Theodore Ted Shackleford.
Fuck off.
Wow, I didn't see very many Teds in the chat. No one remembered that.
Yeah. Theodore Ted Shackleford.
Yeah, you do. That actually is a pretty close hat if it was just yellow. Yeah, let's ride. Thanks to resub Ludwig Reinhardt in the Prime Cab.
Released in 2002 for the Nintendo GameCube, Super Mario Sunshine brought the 3D Mario series from its roots into the next generation. With its bright and colorful graphics, simple yet memorable story, and extremely fluid mechanics. No pun intended. As with any game and part of a major Nintendo franchise, people would eventually take interest in speedrunning the game. An any percent speedrun of Super Mario Sunshine entails completing the 7th episode of each of the 7 main stages, which then unlocks Corona Mountain, the final level in the game. Timing would always end on the final platform ground pound in the Bowser fight. The game forces you to complete the shines in their intended order, so given that the game only allows you to skip Yonker Hills Episode 1, there would ultimately be 50 shines required to finish the game, including Airstrip and defeating Bowser. The first ever recorded full game speedrun of Super Mario Sunshine was completed on July 22nd, 2004 by a runner named Dragorn with a time of 1:59:49. This run's notable for being considered the first sub-2 completion of the game. However, it's also worth noting that this run was what's known as a segmented speedrun. In a segmented speedrun, the runner records the speedrun one segment at a time and is allowed to redo his segment over and over again until the desired result is achieved. Segmented runs were more popular back in the early days of speedrunning, as capture cards weren't exactly the greatest and probably couldn't record in high enough quality for a long period of time. So people would question, how interesting could the run itself ultimately be? Well, Dragorn himself left his own comments about his thoughts on Mario Sunshine as a speed game, and his first paragraph reads as follows. In retrospect, I would say this was a rather poor choice of a game to speed play. The 2D Mario games have warp worlds and such that allow one to streak through the game in about 10 minutes. It takes 10 minutes just to get through the game's opening cutscenes.
True.
Even SM64 has tons of glitches and shortcuts for beating the game in under a half hour. This game, however, is the epitome of linearity. You can't do shines out of order, you can't skip them, except for the first one in Bianco Hills, and you don't even get to pick what shines you collect. You need the 7th one in each level. And this game just isn't conducive to shortcuts like SM64. There aren't any items like the caps or shell, not to mention the cannon, which alone provides infinite possibilities. And the replacement of the long jump with Flood also eliminates many opportunities. And let's not even go into the fact that at least a quarter, closer to a third of the entire run collection is made up of cutscenes.
God, the cutscenes were so
Initially,
good,
this
though.
game wasn't always very well received, as it was sandwiched between its more successful counterparts, Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy. Some would argue that the flood mechanic was too much of a handicap and or just some unnecessary addition, and the only good levels were the floodless stages featuring a cappella Mario music. Packaged with the fact that the GameCube itself was not a very successful console by Nintendo standards, it seemed that this could only impact the reception of Mario Sunshine.
I remember when I got this game, I came
So
home
was
from school
Dragorn
early.
right? Is Mario Sunshine not worth speedrunning?
Just to play
Are the
it.
cutscenes just too unbearable? Is the whole game simply hover to win? Well, today, I'll be covering the history of how the hidden potential of Super Mario Sunshine speedrunning became realized over time. I'm Average Trey, and this is the world record history for Super Mario Sunshine in 8%.
You know what I'm talking about?
Nope, I don't remember that. I don't remember that zone.
Oh, you have to like go down and like clean his like teeth and like they're gold and shit. It's so weird.
So as you might imagine, Dragorn's segmented 159 has very unrefined movement. He seemed to have an irrational fear of water sliding, which, at its top speed, is the fastest form of movement in the game. Strategies used for Shadow Mario shines were also quite interesting. All jokes aside, this run definitely deserves respect for being completed in a time where there were literally no resources or community for this game yet. It's worth noting that even in 2004, the blooper race shortcut was known about, as well as hovering through the Ferris wheel in Pen 5. And also, the red coins in Gelato 6 were still pretty annoying. A few years would pass, and no any % runs would be completed. All Sunshine activity related to any % from late 2004 to 2008 would strictly be IL, theory crafting in the Speed Demos
That's
archive,
called
or SDA
2004.
forums,
Oh, is
or
that
glitch
Travis?
hunting. In activity related to any % from late 2004 to 2008 would strictly be ILs, theory crafting in the Speed Demos archive.
Damn!
Wow.
How long has he been around speedrunning? My man. God damn.
It's also a sick profile picture for the time.
Well, he's still using that profile pic. That's how I recognize him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Or SDA forums, or glitch hunting. In early 2009, however, Theoradel decided it was finally time to put together a solid
I still
segment
remember
of the
playing
game,
this game while
utilizing
my
better
parents
movement
watched
and
True Lies
strategies
with
to
Arnold
improve upon
Schwarzenegger
Dragorn's
and Jamie Lee
159.
Curtis
On January
does its,
10th,
striptease for him.
2009, Theoradel
And I
finished
had
his
to
segmented
stop
run
playing
with a
Super Mario Sunshine to watch for a
154.44
minute.
according to
That
SDA
sounds like an
timing,
awful time.
an
How was it?
astounding 5-minute
pretty cool.
improvement. It's important to note SDA timing because it's actually significantly different than the timing method used today. You see, SDA does their timing from first input as opposed to console reset or file select, so the timing would actually start on the first Peach text box. If I were to convert Dragorn's and Theoradel's runs to modern day timing, it would be 2 hours and 55 seconds and 1:55:50 respectively.
Not
So
bad.
anyway, Theoradel mainly improved the time by being much more liberal with water sliding. There still weren't really any established strategies to traverse the floodless stages or defeat Shadow Marios quickly, but there still were a lot of improvements throughout the run nonetheless. At the time, this run seemed pretty darn solid, but there was still a lot of things preventing Mario Sunshine from being considered a highly respected speed game. For example, the eel boss fight felt like kind of a crapshoot, the casino was a randomness nightmare, and there were just so many goddamn cutscenes. Would people ever get around these kind of issues in years to come? The time period that followed this could be seen as an era of discovering things. No one was really doing any runs of the game, at least not outside of Japan, but I'll touch upon that in a bit. Instead, during the period from 2009 to early 2011, a lot of important skips and tricks were found that would shave off significant time. The first of which being the Pinna 1 cutscene skips discovered by a Japanese player named Tateo. In July 2010, he discovered that you could skip both Mecha Bowser cutscenes by simply exiting an area as you were transitioning into the cutscene. The reason this works is that time still progresses in the game during the fade out of exiting an area, and if a Mecha Bowser cutscene is triggered during this fade out, the game gets confused and the result is a cutscene skip. This saves about 3 minutes overall. Unfortunately, when applying this method to any other cutscene transition in the game, exiting areas simply brings you back to the title screen. The next major breakthrough, discovered by Axon in October 2010, was Yoshi's skip in Pianta Village Episode 5. Normally, you're supposed to unlock Yoshi before being able to complete all of Pianta Village, due to the entry of the secret stage being blocked by Jelly that only Yoshi can clear out. This meant that originally the 80% route forced you to complete Pinna Park before going to Pianta Village, in order to fulfill the requirement of unlocking Yoshi, completing Episode 4 of Pinna Park. However, when Yoshi's skip came around, this opened up routing possibilities that completed Pianta Village much earlier in the run. On top of this, the time saved from not having to use Yoshi to enter the secret is around 25 seconds. So it's no secret that the casino in Serena Beach Episode 4 is extremely annoying. There are 2 spinning slot machines to deal with, on top of a finicky tile flipping puzzle that opens up the way to the secret entrance. Thanks to a discovery from Mano Cheese in February 2011, all of the random elements of the casino can be skipped by simply gaining enough height to climb over the top of the curtains. Without this skip being possible, Serena Beach would have undoubtedly been the most annoying world in an 80% run. Other smaller skips were also found during this period, such as Mole Skip in Pinna Park Episode 2, a Banana Clip in Serena Beach Episode 3, some major abuse of invincibility frames to skip a large portion of Pianta Village Episode 3, and a Spring Clip to skip the boss fight in Noki Bay Episode 2. But who would be first to put all these skips and tricks together into a full game, single segment run? Well, the answer isn't entirely clear, but let's dive right into it. So you know how I mentioned Japan earlier? It turns out that the Japanese were the original pioneers of what can be considered the modern era of SMS speedrunning. There were 2 dominant 80% runners that emerged from this region, Tobo and Chibi, who later changed his name to Sine Cosine, and I will be referring to him as such for the remainder of this video, just so that everyone knows that I'm not referring to... yeah, you get the idea. Both Tobo and Sine Cosine...
Wait, are you telling me...
that I'm not referring to...
This wasn't in... Super Mario Sunshine though, was it? This iconic "Would you please be quiet" thing, wasn't this like some weird PlayStation 1 game? It was like fucking Tomba 2.
Tomba 2.
Oh, his name is Chibi. Have you seen this moment?
No.
Oh my god, I figured you wouldn't. This is the most iconic moment in all of speedrunning. Or I'd prefer if you be quiet. Oh my god, this is what puts speedrunning on the map, honestly. Oh my god.
$50 from Anonymous. Here's $50 for the most awkward moment I've ever seen on stream. Had me laughing uncomfortable bliss for 10 minutes.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, here, I'll actually let you listen to it, otherwise you're not going to get the full effect. This is why you should speedrun, Caleb. You can be among brothers here.
Alright, I'm listening.
Oh my god, Jesus fucking Christ. What a stupid joke. GDQ's not the same anymore? I know, they fucking banned cringe.
Welcome back, guys. We're just getting ready for the next game.
This looks...
I still watch this like once a year.
Is. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, everyone. I am Caveman DCJ, and this is Tomba 2. Oh, that's a good start.
I mean, it's more fun than Bubsy has.
Nah, no one has. And no one ever will.
It's weird, I always usually wear pajama pants, but I would say I wear jeans today.
Yeah, you're not dressed for the occasion.
I'm not.
Yeah, me neither.
Neither.
I recommend all viewers to go get a nice cup of joe, perhaps a bagel.
Dude, I love bagels.
Just sit back and enjoy some breakfast Tomba.
And
Asiago
you're just
cheese
in
bagel.
the early stages. This
Yummy.
is Act 1.
I believe you.
This game definitely has an interesting play style to it.
How do you mean?
Well, like most games in this kind of style are like sort of 2D scroll or 3D scrollers, whereas this one is kind of have a lot has another dimension to it.
Yeah, it's like 2.5D.
2.5D is yeah.
Were these two ever friends?
If anyone's listening.
No, not a
Yeah, I
shot.
don't think so.
This is for people who don't know each other. This looks like a
The
shitty
character design
Crash
of this
Bandicoot.
game kind of reminds me
Yeah,
of
the
Adventure
game
Island.
very cool.
All right. Okay, this is an amazing time for donations.
right.
Like just this game in general.
All right, well, we have $20 from iNippy. Here's $20.
He looks
You
like
can
a
have
young
it. Maybe
Drake
it'll
now.
come in useful. And we have $5 from...
But we're not going to because I like the boomerang.
Please don't make us watch this again. It's
Boomerang
just,
hype?
I don't know. I think this is iconic.
What is with the jitter hand?
He's
So
skipping
this is the case where
dialogue.
getting crabs is a good thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, you kind of text
Ever
like
seen
this, though.
crabs
I'm not
used?
gonna lie.
I don't text. Don't put that evil in here.
And you won't ever again. That is the end of the crab section of the run.
Ripped crabs. Yes! Fast pants.
They make you go fast.
I want one now.
Fast pants.
Equipment that you pick up.
Oh yeah, I would hate to actually like have to.
This is
put
like one of those pieces of art where you always come back and see something different.
I mean,
All right, rip safety.
The
out.
cringiest
I
thing
gotta
I've
go.
ever heard. He
I
just
mean,
doesn't
I
even
could
want
always
to be
wear
there
the pants.
talking to this man.
I know.
We have $10 from Zarganian.
Have you ever seen
and he says
Grandma's
he's got to
Boy?
give some money for his bro Chibi on the couch
He
right
reminds
now.
me of the
and get him some birthday hype.
robotic guy who runs the company and makes
Hey,
the
thanks,
games.
Sarkanian.
We have
guess a little
$20
bit.
from Eoin. Tomby Squirrel Suit Hype.
His face and the
Donating
way
another
he literally
$5
looks
if the
like
announcer
yeah,
can
JP.
pronounce my name right. Hopefully I was close.
I am a genius.
Oh yeah, this game is called Tomby with an I.
No, Eoin, the donator. But I pronounced both of you wrong. Forgive me.
I prefer Tomba. It makes him sound more masculine.
Does.
I mean, he has pink hair, so he is a true man.
My name is
Can you do me a favor and just look up JP from Grandma?
He doesn't actually talk.
You need
though,
to see the
so he
comparison.
would never say that.
Like in appearance?
Yeah, just in appearance too.
Okay.
I think Chad needs to see what I'm talking about. JP.
Oh, I just typed in J. You're right. This
Just give
guy?
me Images, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I guess a little bit.
If he had like a mustache, it's literally the same guy.
I don't even remember.
And maybe
this
a
guy.
leather jacket.
I don't remember him looking straight out of the Matrix.
Oh yeah, that's the whole joke. He
Yeah, I
thinks he's in the
genuinely
Matrix.
don't remember that.
Oh, you have to. It's awful. Rewatch it.
I'll have to rewatch it.
Never say that in any
He
situation.
makes grunts. That's kind of like talking.
He could pretend he does.
I have fast pants.
You get turbo pants later.
Now you're just making me excited.
Yeah, I don't think you're ready for that.
I don't think I am. I think I need some time to prepare my body.
He felt like he's so muscular. He just felt no change in his weight.
This is what stand-up
Tom would just
should be.
proceed to
Imagine
put on his
Netflix
pants.
gives him
Yeah,
the 300
got
mil
fast.
for some specials.
This is what happens when you like
Never
have two
doubt the powers
homeschool
of
kids try to
weapons
hang out.
mates.
Yeah, usually it's supposed to be friends on the couch.
From Brendan 3, love Tomba 2. I never fully beat it as a kid and just managed to beat it for the first time a couple of years ago. You've made my workday so much better.
Oh, someone else has a birthday today.
What are the odds?
Right? It's kind of coincidental how, like, in most games, pigs are evil.
Such as?
Well, Diddy Kong Racing, Zelda,
It's not real, bro.
Mother.
I know, it's like an actual NPC conversation.
Evil things in video games.
You're welcome. Dude, how come I never saw this Christmas special as a kid?
It's a rare game, I guess. Really. 300. That's. I was like
Honestly,
60. Well,
to be
like,
fair, I kind of felt bad for Jacket Kid to talk to the speedrun guy, but like Jacket Kid says some pretty awful
When
lines.
did Super Mario?
Yeah, this whole situation's rough.
Good joke.
He probably gets fed up with the voice lines and basically cuts off dialogue.
His number one helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer it.
I actually don't.
But yes, you are correct.
I told you, this is an iconic speedrunning video.
My favorite childhood game, so I just had to get it for the
This was responsible for so many people getting interested in speedrunning, Caleb. You're looking at a piece of history.
I was just saying, like, I think Jacket Kid's kind of annoying, but I don't know if I'd go that ham on him, dude.
Yeah, he's just trying to make the situation better. He did everything he could. It's like sad cringe. That's definitely an R sad cringe moment.
$4.20 from Two Strains. I want to hear more of the guy in the green sweatshirt on the couch. Please let him talk more.
God, he needs to hit a world record just to end it quicker.
Hi.
They're not. Are they actually friends? IRL?
I don't know.
$5
I
from
really don't know.
Diacide.
There has to be a
Enjoying
deep
this
dive
run,
on, like,
but I'll
this-
donate
the
another
history
$10 if Green Hoodie Guy does 10
That's a
jumping
good question.
jacks.
I bet there is.
Green Hoodie Guy has to do 10 jumping jacks?
Alright, so this is like the coolest part of the game in my opinion. Like, the time is frozen, so this is just pretty much the point of no return. Like, the first thing you see, alright, well, we got this going on.
What kind of ragdoll movement is this?
It's called exercise, Caleb. It's aerobics. You wouldn't get it.
Great job, guy, I don't know.
Oh, they don't know each other.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
Thanks, guy. You just gave me my exercise for the week.
Ah. God, I wish GDQ was like this.
That's
it's not the same.
Fucking nuts.
I know, isn't that fucking wild? I told you, man, that's iconic. That is actually just an iconic moment. Thanks to Prime Swift.
Is that guy still speedrun, I wonder?
I don't know.
Right?
There's gotta be a dive on it. I'm curious now. Hold on, before we go back to
Released
the
in 2000
main video. Let's see. Maybe not.
No chance. If anything, maybe you should do it.
Oh, here we go. Toxic. Oh, this is 8 months ago.
Look at us.
Did I get mad pussy after my Tomba 2 run?
Captions.
The short answer is no. The long answer is thank fucking God no. From what I understand, his name was Chibi.
Man, he's still
which is an
talking
excellent
shit.
name for a man. I told him to be quiet because he was a fucker. And I didn't ask for him to be on the couch. And he just invited himself on. And sat shoulder length to me so I couldn't move my elbows. And just would not shut the fuck up. Did anyone see him actually doing those jumping jacks? Like, Jesus Christ.
God
at least,
damn,
like,
he just won't
at
stop.
least do good, proper jumping jacks. Chibi wants to fight me IRL? I don't think he wants to do that. He was on the couch from Bubsy till Spyro 2. Like, that was just his time. Nope, I didn't flip him off, I didn't suplex him, I didn't do anything. I just wanted him to leave me alone after the stream. He didn't get it, like, he tried to approach me like 3 more times. Like, get out of here, guy, what are you doing? They called Chibi that guy. Chibi was that guy. Am I really a meme? Have I attained meme status? Stash bro. Way back in the day, I was thinking about Stash Cam, just like exclusive mustache cam, but I couldn't get it to set up right.
GB also made a response video after
streaming
the
that there was
event.
going to be like a lot of Chibi
I think
shit
he
talk.
privated recently, but feels super bad about how he acted that day.
Yo, that caveman guy.
I tell you, he needs to embrace it.
Fucking talking smack. I will talk smack though. It's not like I fucking forget to wipe my ass and just piss all over my bed.
I don't know where that last one came from, but alright. That sounded like a man who forgets to wipe his ass and pisses the bed.
5-year anniversary, wow.
I know, it's almost been 10 years. It was 2014, Caleb.
That's nuts.
Speedrunning was still in its infancy. Damn, man, that's crazy. I really think Chibi needs to embrace this moment. This could have turned into a very prosperous career. He could have been the next Danielle Brigoli.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks for some candy in the bits, Jacob.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Tier 1
both
turbo.
Tobo and Sine Cosine began learning SMS speedrunning in 2010, and both strived for a run that was out of this world, to a degree much, much higher than any Western runner could even hope to achieve. The first notable modern 80% record using all the previously mentioned skips was 134.50 by Tobo in October of 2011. Unfortunately, the history of world records between Theodel's 155 and Tobo's 134 has not been documented. It can safely be assumed that the Japanese players were single-handedly developing the 80% meta over the course of 2010 to early 2011, using skips that both Western and Japanese speedrunners had discovered during this period. Considering how low the standards of consistency were at this time, this run was nothing short of impressive. Interestingly, the route at this time opted to complete Pianta Village at the very start of the game. It was probably known this wasn't the most optimal route, but this was likely used as a way to get Yoshi Skip out of the way as soon as possible. Yoshi Skip was a major run killer when it wasn't very well understood.
Did Chibi Guy get in trouble for cheating at Paper Mario?
This was the first instance of modern eel strats being used. The eel fight in Noki Bay Episode 4 was extremely hard to do consistently fast before any strats were developed, but Tobo manages to pull off a 4-tooth eel, meaning that he cleaned off the 4 middle teeth before provoking the eel into eating him, and thus manipulating him to not go back into his hidey hole and waste a buttload of time. He also successfully pulled off the cutscene skip, which occurs as long as you're flashing red from taking damage at the same time that you spray off the final tooth.
Nice. 134 ain't too bad.
In a couple of months, Sine Cosine would fire back with an 80% speedrun that would set the bar extremely high. In December of 2011, Sine Cosine achieved a time of 133.01. This run was mind-blowing, to say the least. Such insane levels of consistency and execution had never before been seen in SMS. As a bit of an aside, I remember before I got into speedrunning SMS myself, as soon as I saw those windmill wall kicks, I knew this guy didn't mess around. Due to the nature of how Nico Live, a Japanese streaming website, handles broadcasting,
my God, I remember that
both
website.
Tobo and Sine Cosine used a timing method that was acceptable at the time, later frowned upon, and then eventually deemed unacceptable on modern leaderboards. It wasn't segmented nor RTA, but they used what's known as time attack, or TA. A time attack run is a single segment speedrun that allows the runner to pause the game and the timer, and the runner can then resume the game and timer at any point that they choose. The reason this was convenient for Japanese speedrunners is that Nico Live forces the broadcast to segment at 30-minute intervals. Because of this, Japanese SMS speedrunners would complete 20 to 25 minutes of gameplay and at a given text box, pause the game and timer, and then segment the stream. While this did solve the issue of Nico's broadcasting system, there was a clear advantage to doing this versus doing an actual RTA. It wouldn't be until the latter half of 2012 that new world record runs would arise, as Sine Cosine's 133.01 was just that good for the time. Tobo got the record back on August 17th, 2012.
Nice. I like how happy he is.
The route used in this run was new, as Bianco Hills was completed first again, and Rico Harbor was done really early in the route, right when it's unlocked. He also utilized advanced ship movement in Pinna Park Episode 5, which has an extremely tight window to hover to the boat, side flip to the sail, and then spin jump to the catwalk.
Rivalries in
Sine
speedrunning are
Cosine
legitimately
then got a
cool.
time of
Rivalries
132.31 on October 7, 2012. But unfortunately, he either unlisted or removed the video from his YouTube channel. Tobo proceeded to tie this time on November 8th. Later in the month, on November 22nd, Tobo improved the record by 24 seconds, getting a 132.07. A notable strat used in this run was an improvement to a previously known banana clip in Serena Beach Episode 3. In May of 2012, your boy Graham discovered what would come to be known as the banana split. By backflipping into the glass wall and timing a throw, this served as a much faster method of clipping into the pool room. Amongst
was fucking
any healthy
cool.
competition of a speed game rising in popularity, some
Thanks to the
shady
bits
business is
Ooh,
almost
5K
guaranteed to
bits
occur.
Nitro.
In
Thank you,
2012,
Nitro.
racing on Speedruns Live, or SRL, was becoming very popular, and racing SMS 80% was no exception. Racing was all in good fun and wasn't taken too seriously or observed with much scrutiny. That is, until one such race would change this forever, as it would cause figureheads of SMS to begin to crack down on those who don't provide
Here's a
adequate
prime
proof
Shinobu.
of a race they participated in. There is a cycle that was considered to be the stuff of legends at this stage in Sunshine's development. The chance that any of these chucksters decide to stop, as well as the amount of time that they're stopped for, is entirely random. Ideally,
I've seen
the
Elden Ring
chucksters
speedruns.
early
I've done
on are
Elden Ring
mostly on a
speedruns.
fast cycle with little to no stopping time, and the very last chuckster is on a slow cycle, having to stop a lot and for an extended period of time. If the last chuckster is slow enough that he's in this corner when you get to this section of the level, it makes a cycle that saves a minimum of 20 seconds possible. Before it was known that you could mash the Y button to reverse a chuckster throw, the chance of making this cycle was deemed to be nearly impossible in an RTA. This very cycle plays a pivotal role on this scandal. On
Check out the
December
Mirror's
14th,
Edge run at
2012,
GDQ.
this
Why?
80% race took place. Now, you'll notice amongst these results that there was a runner by the name of Ramel123457 who got disqualified. Well, to put it simply, Ramel spliced a mid-131 run for a race, and streamed the video playback as his race proof.
What
He
a
didn't do this just
bastard.
out of nowhere, however. He had consistently good race times leading up to this moment, which were also most likely faked just to make his supposed world record race time seem more realistic. The early chuckster cycle that I previously mentioned went on to be known as the Ramel cycle, as he made this cycle in his spliced run. The SMS community quickly found out that his time was faked when his stream temporarily went down and then back up as he was being asked during the credits to do a specific movement on the file select screen as a sort of proof call. Funnily enough, Ramel, who later streamed under the name Inomine, would go on to legitimately get a 131 and a top 3 time at that, but it was never allowed on leaderboards or acknowledged by anyone due to his previous splicing incident. From here, Tobo went on sort of a tear, while Sine Cosine couldn't quite keep up. Tobo improved his own record a few times, managing to get a 131.58 on December 29, 2012.
Not bad,
barely
not
achieving
bad.
a 131 before
What,
2013.
isn't the current record
he
like
then got a
115,
131.38
so
on
it's not, like,
February 15,
significantly
2015.
different now.
And keep in mind that all the records
I
up to
could be
this
wrong,
point
though.
have been
Pretty sure
either
it's still hour
segmented
plus.
or done with the TA method of timing. It seemed like Tobo was such a dominant force, but it was only a matter of time before another runner would rise up to the challenge. That's where Samurai Man comes in. Samurai Man, a speedrunner from Finland,
He's a
began
recent
seriously running SMS in the summer of 2012, and he improved fast. Like, really, really fast.
Well, GG. That was the run, guys. Oh my god. I did it.
He's a
132.
tier 1 Jindy.
Samu is basically the kind of
Song of
person who
Storms?
can get
Yes,
really good at any
sir.
game he puts his mind to. Coming into 2013, Samu was definitely a top runner, but didn't seem like he was nearly in contention with Tobo yet. But on one fateful February 28th, that changed.
Thanks, Yusuf Cosmic. Samu had the Dread World record for a while. Nice. You guys pretty good. I'll peep the Mirror's Edge speedrun at some point. I'm sure it's not as wacky as you claim.
Oh! Yes.
Samu managed to clutch out a
That was a
PB
big
by a
build-up.
minute. This was also the first time in history that the 80% record was done RTA as opposed to TA, which meant that it was done in one sitting without ever pausing the timer.
Thanks to the
This
bits,
record may have
Jindy.
only been by 11 seconds,
Welcome.
but there is no doubt that it left a huge impact on SMS speedrunning as a whole. He truly proved that you don't have to be Japanese to be the best at Sunshine. Tobo would quickly return to the 80% grind, and he took the record back by 3 seconds just a couple weeks later.
That
Once
son of a
again,
bitch.
using the TA timing method. He then beat his own 1:31.24 by 1 second exactly a month later. But the important thing about this run was that it was the first time Tobo managed to get the record using RTA. No video footage currently exists for either of these two times, but the
And they don't
1:31.23 stood for a while,
They're fake.
considering that Samu's former record was extremely good for his own standards, and he would need to practice and improve his skills before once again taking the record. Small movement optimizations were being developed, but no new strats were really found during this time period. After a couple months of grinding, Samu managed to drop the record down by another 15
Of course
seconds.
I watched the ADQ cringe comps. Well, not recently. I haven't watched any for the last few years.
There we go. A new world record. A new world record.
I personally saw this run live, and while it sounds cliche, it was definitely one of the best examples I've ever seen of how you should never give up. Samu pulled this run off immediately after losing 2 PB pace runs in a row to Noki Bay episode 6.
Yes!
That's so sweet. You love a good comeback story. Oh.
You can't be serious. What?
What a silly thing to mess up on. You make me sick.
Not only is the shell secret considered to be the hardest secret in the game, but it's also at the very end of the run, so it can definitely create a huge mental barrier. By this point, there was something on everyone's mind, as the times seemed to be approaching a certain special goal.
Sub 130.
That sub 130 is possible, Kappa?
Sub 130 would be the ultimate crowning achievement of SMS 80%, but it would just barely be possible with the knowledge at the time. Within less than a month, Tobo managed to get the first ever 130 time with a 130.45 on August 17th, 2013.
Damn, I never knew Super Mario Sunshine speedruns were so active back in the day.
Majority of 2013. Just a ton of grinding runs or races,
Yeah, they're pretty
and a
long
community
compared to Super
expanding
Mario
at an
64.
alarming rate. The rivalry between Japan and Europe, Tobo and Samu, was raging on, and other runners were sneaking up in the background. Yamata,
And Distortion.
Stelzig, and Pyroshade.
And Tobuscus.
Each representing a different country. Samurai Man later achieved a 130.49. Though not world record, it showed that he was more than capable of it. Samu would pull
Did I
in
know
over
that
1,000
sharks
viewers
poop?
every time he streamed
Well, I assume
attempts,
they did.
as viewers eagerly anticipated the low 130, if not sub 130, 80% time. Well, on September 3rd, 2013, this happened.
Ooh, just missed it.
Well,
This guy has like a big pop off and then immediately
This went
calm.
down as one of the most legendary speedruns of SMS in history. Samurai Man accomplished this run with
Is there some
essentially
verdict?
the same knowledge that was around for months, just with insanely consistent gameplay and fairly solid luck throughout. But
What are you doing?
how much did luck, or uncontrollable factors within the game, play a role? The variance in PD
all good. I
patterns
was
in
just
Bianca
curious.
Hills episode 5 can realistically cost over 40 seconds, even up to a minute over the optimal pattern. The plungellos on the mirrors in Gelato Beach episode 2 have AI that causes them to walk around randomly until they spot you. With bad enough patterns on the double and triple plungello mirrors, it wasn't uncommon to lose upwards of 20 seconds. There's the previously mentioned Ramel cycle that generally cost over 25 seconds if you don't make it, and keep in mind that with less polished movement, Ramel cycle happened around 1 in 10 times, assuming you played perfectly. The Manta Ray fight in Serena Beach episode 1,
I remember
which
that
was
boss.
barely
The boss is such a
explored,
bitch.
was essentially
The Manta
random
Ray.
and could cost you a ton of time. And finally King Boo, who can randomly give you extra cycles costing around 7 seconds each. Top level
Yeah.
runners would almost need to get good enough luck overall, otherwise they would have to play out of their
Boo's
mind
usually
in
the
order
best.
to compensate for bad luck. Amidst the race for sub 130, quite a number of strats were being developed towards the end of 2013 that would definitely help. Tobo himself discovered 2 strats within Pianta Village episode 4. He found that it was faster to keep holding the chain and pushing the chain chomp forward, as well as manipulating the chain chomp to go into the pool area and with a well-timed grab make him fall in.
Kind of fatal.
Five-tooth eel was increasingly becoming the norm. Better strategies for secret stages were coming out, and overall, people began really analyzing for more subtle movements of SMS to see where frames could be saved. Samurai Man and Tobo were still grinding runs almost every day, but the grind was nearly beginning to feel exhaustive for both runners and viewers alike. Awesome Games Done Quick 2014 came around, and as always with these large marathons, much of the attention within the speedrunning community shifts away from the usual streamers grinding runs to supporting or even attending the event itself. Well, it just so happened that a couple days into this marathon, while everyone was focused on the event and least expected it, this is what transpired in Japan.
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking do it! He fucking did it. He's a goddamn hero. He's a prime Shaggy.
On January 6th, 2014, Tobo proved that sub 130 is possible with his run of 129.50. A run that achieved the SMS community's dream time, and better yet, didn't even have Ramel cycle. This started to lead to a hive mind belief of the inevitable fate of Mario Sunshine. It felt as though there was nothing else to really explore with the category, with the exception of a little known cutscene skip discovered way back in October 2012 by the famous Japanese SM64 runner, Honey. Honey Skip is a trick in which you clip into this building, and if you manage to die on the same exact frame you enter the cutscene trigger for Pinna Park, it will skip the cutscene. The reason that you die is that there's a death plane in most of the out of bounds areas that will kill you if you're touching the ground for the duration of 1 second. Even though Honey Skip was kinda known to be possible for over a year, there were no reliable setups yet created for it. People thought that the setup would be too slow for it to be worth it anyway, and you can really see why if you knew that the original setup involved some janky Y-cam return alignment. Top-level competition seemed to die down, and with the exception of SRL races, motivation for running any percent was somewhat declining. Tobo's magnum opus, the sub 130 run, would mark the end of an era. So there's something I've been kind of brushing over for this entire video thus far. Gelato Beach. Gelato Beach in an 80% run sucks. Gelato 1 is okay.
If only you could skip the intro cutscene, you'd save like 6 minutes.
Sure, I'll give you that. Episode 2 sucks. Episode 3 is more or less an auto-scroller. Episode 4 is more or less an auto-scroller. Episode 5 is more or less an auto-scroller. Episode 6 sucks. And Episode 7 is Shadow Mario. There is an interesting aspect to Gelato Beach, however, that doesn't apply to any other world in the game. The Episode 8 Shine, the Watermelon Festival, exists in every episode of the world. Since the beginning of SMS speedruns, people would occasionally theory-craft ways to clip into the glass and collect the shine in Episode 1.
Gelato Beach skip? Oh my god.
Thus, unlocking all the episodes immediately, making Episode 7 available. People already knew that the shine was, in fact, a physical shine, because an alternate method of Gelato Beach skip was already known. Exclusive to the Japanese version of SMS, you can use Yoshi in Episode 6 to clip through the ceiling, and dive ground pounds into the shine. People using NTSCJ had a slight advantage because of being able to avoid Gelato 6 in any percent, but it really didn't save that much time, since you still ended up doing the same number of shines. Obviously, years went by with no success in finding the skip, and it seemed as though it was hopeless. Then one day,
we're learning about
along
Super Mario
comes the
Sunshine.
Spyro speedrunner. That's right, the long sought-after Gelato Beach skip, or GBS.
Hey, wait,
was
this is the
found
same
on
guy we
February
learned about a
21st,
while back.
2014 by Tobal1,
Right?
who doesn't even run SMS. This just goes to show that sometimes having a fresh pair of eyes is exactly what you need to solve a problem.
I mean,
And
this
if
guy
he
just
or
goes
she is
around
already a
saving
talented
game
glitch hunter,
speedruns.
that also helps. While this may seem like an obvious solution, the reason it took so long to find was due to how precise the setup is. Not only does the angle require you to grab a straight edge and align the camera forward, but you must align the camera from this direction rather than this direction, otherwise it still won't work. The discovery of the skip quickly went viral, and SMS runners were absolutely ecstatic. Not only would this save over 10 minutes in any percent, but it skipped what was widely agreed to be the most boring world in SMS. The race was on as a mad dash to get some free world records ensued. After gaining enough understanding of the skip to at least get it within 10 attempts or so, Samurai Man started doing runs as soon as possible. The first run that Samu completed using the skip resulted in a
right, he is.
1:24.24, a 5.5 minute improvement using a skip that saves
imagine.
10 minutes. Obviously, there was a lot more work to be done. I previously mentioned that the United States was the
Exactly
weakest
like
region by a
this Twitter.
considerable amount, but that wouldn't stop Paperario1231
More
as he
pompous.
fully capitalized on this moment for the U.S. to finally hold a world record in 80%.
There will be like, oh my god, cannot believe this. I hate when people don't
What the hell?
vacuum the carpet.
Screw it. If I don't get a 1 2 1 1 1 2, yeah, I'm not gonna get it. I don't even fucking care. I don't even fucking care.
Damn, this guy's getting aggressive. He's getting mean.
I did it! I don't want to do 5.1.
Oh.
Okay. Nice job, Paper. What's your final time?
This is a very underwhelming solo. You need better hype men. Yeah, yeah, he says nice job. You
So the end cutscene doesn't count?
What?
Paper managed to sneak
just
in a
wants the
record for
cutscene
America,
triggers.
and a 122 at that. And as expected, a mere 20 hours later, Samurai Man got a time of 122.35. An improvement, yes, but still not even
Who's
close
the
to meeting
chapel?
his full potential. Tobo quickly got a run of 121.45, but of course, this still wasn't good enough to be worth highlighting. Within a couple of hours, Samu not only achieved a 120.36, but then a 120.32 immediately after that.
It's like the 4-minute mile thing,
Yeah, once you break it
All on
one
February
time, everyone else can
22nd.
break
The
it.
original GBS setup, which lasted for all of one day, involved using 2 coconuts. One to disable the hitbox of the blender, and the other to do the skip. As you can see, by this point, the 1 coconut method already became the standard. The very next day, Tobo managed to get a 120.08. So within just a couple of days of GBS being found, the record had almost been dropped down to a sub 120 time. Samu and Tobo were the only runners who could realistically get a sub 120 at this point, so it was only a
Doing alright,
matter of who'd
Latino.
be
Hope you
first
had
to
a
get
good
it.
stream.
Well, 1 month later, Tobo finally got the first sub 120 in SMS any percent,
Yeah, he
but
fucking
he
cheated.
didn't just get it by a little bit. His time was actually a 119.34, completely smashing his previous record by over 30 seconds. This run was an extremely solid run with the strats that were known at the time, plus the
Thanks,
addition of
useful idiot. I appreciate it,
GBS.
man.
A great surge of popularity for running SMS came directly from the discovery of GBS, so it makes it all the more insane that the 119.34 stood for over 5 months without being contested.
You think
This
you
is
can
perhaps
sub
when
GoPro?
Tobo,
I did.
already being a
Good.
dominant
Fuck
player, was at his most dominant. A few weeks prior to performing this legendary run, Tobo delivered this tweet that states,
I
Tobo
quit.
the WR hog. And at the time, this tweet
world
really couldn't
record
have been more
hog.
true. Shortly after this record, Samurai Man decided to take a brief break from playing SMS, and the other top runners would need to seriously grind if they could even hope to get the world record.
Makes
Over
it
the
fun,
upcoming
Xerox.
summer months, several runners were improving their skills and closing the gap between themselves and the world record. Previously, I mentioned how Honey Skip was considered to not be viable for any percent speedruns, but Stelzig went on to develop the first reasonable setup for a run. By aligning Mario's forward position to where his shadow is first visible, standing in a specific spot,
have a
and
community
ground
stream
pounding at the
jerk
very
session.
end of a neutral hover, you can buffer
Now
a
we're getting
diagonal
into Texas
sidestep
spirit.
into the cutscene trigger and hopefully die on the
I'll tip
exact
my
same
hat to
frame
that.
that you enter it.
Amen, brother.
Stelzig, a competitive melee player and SMS speedrunner from Denmark, had a plan to eventually defeat Tobo with the help of his Honey Skip setup, which saved roughly 10 to 12 seconds if performed quickly. Stelzig kept grinding away at Sunshine over the summer of 2014 and was excelling in various categories. When it started to dawn on him that he had the potential to take the most prestigious record in SMS, he shifted his focus entirely to any percent toward the end of July.
120.01.
Stelzig would sometimes like to grind offline attempts so that he could watch videos or streams during runs to
think
take his
Sunshine
mind
is
off
the
the
best Mario
pressure.
game ever?
On August 1st, Stelzig uploaded an extremely heartbreaking
I
video
don't-
that
I'm just
showcases an
saying a lot of
offline
people
world
in chat
record
have
pace
said
run that died
Yeah,
on the
it's the
Bowser
same
fight.
guy over and over again.
Unfortunately for Stelzig,
Probably.
he just couldn't
What
quite
do you
handle the
think is
pressure.
best?
Chokes of this
Super Mario
magnitude can
64.
psychologically be tough to overcome.
that's
As the
just
month of
like
August
safe
went on,
answer, honestly.
Stelzig couldn't
It's
even
the
manage to
right
get a
answer.
119, let alone world
just say
record,
whatever.
despite proving beyond a reasonable doubt that he could do it.
What?
Well,
What
there
just
is a good
happened there?
ending to this story, as Stelzig's hard work did pay off.
Just gotta pop it off. Maybe I'll glitch hunt in Super
He
Mario
achieved a world
Sunshine.
record time of 1:19:24
I'll get that record
on August
under
25th.
15
He
minutes.
finally overcame his mental block, and for the first time since late 2012, someone other than Samurai Man and Tobo, and Paper Mario, held the any percent record. About a week before Stelzig took the record, Samurai Man started doing some SMS any percent runs just to see how he would do, but wasn't entirely sure if he would come back to serious grinding or not. He actually managed to get a 1:19:36, just 2 seconds off Tobo's former record, 4 days before Stelzig's 1:19:24.
Didn't know he moved into a cabin? Yeah, I love nature, so I just wanted to be close.
In the latter half of 2013, Samurai Man and
got a
Stelzig
little
became
log
European
cabin.
rivals over the 120 shines record, which is essentially the 100% category for SMS. Viewers were excited to see these two trade the record back and forth, using many Zig Frogs or Samu Caparais to show their support. This rivalry transferred over to any percent when Stelzig fully established himself as a threat with his world record time. Autumn of 2014 came around, and Samurai Man was hard set on going for not just world record, but the first ever 118. After about a month of grinding, Samu finally bested Stelzig's time by about 4 seconds.
It's not easy being the best.
Oh my god.
Sleep well, Jake.
Samu still didn't use Honeyskip at this point, so he even had a 10-second deficit to account for. So guess what happened just as Samu had begun to take in the excitement of once again being number one?
You really should start speedrunning, Caleb. I think you'd be a real savant.
That's right, Tobo had been grinding any percent attempts this whole time, but coincidentally, he achieved a 1:19:08 merely a day after Samu got world record. Not only was this a large improvement to the record, but in addition to not using Honeyskip, this run also didn't have Ramel Cycle. Tobo's record was truly daunting, as some of the strategies that were used seemed so crazy. This would mark the beginning of the journey to 118 for all the top runners. Many American SMS speedrunners were racing any percent regularly, sometimes on a nightly basis over the next dozen months or so following the discovery of GBS. When racing was extremely popular, there was no denying that the US had a lot of solid players, but no one was really a world record contender. As fate would have it, one particular American was on track to break this mold. I will just let the following clip introduce him.
Playing DD Destruction, dude. Bots do that.
Yes!
Damn!
Yes!
It's getting louder every time.
Yes!
Yeah.
This is Capelon, a speedrunner from
Lord.
Utah. He began running
I
SMS
love the
during the latter half of
passion.
2013, but the incredibly
just won
active
the
community that
fucking
arose during
Stanley
2014 is
Cup.
what really motivated him to become a top-tier player. Capelon was very serious about the grind, and was building up consistency quickly. He would often win any percent races amongst the other high-level SMS runners, and this video from Q_QQQ2 proves it.
God, Twitter was a crazy place. Wow, it's just so old-fashioned. Holy shit. I actually feel like I'm back in like 2008 YouTube.
Everyone knew that 118 was realistic after Tobo's 1:19:08 happened, and Capelon was dead set on being the first one to achieve it.
This vid's over 4 years old. I thought it was brand new. I know. But it's such a good history. He lays it out so fucking well.
2014 was coming to an end, and it seemed that one of the top runners was destined to get the first 118 any day now. While on January 14th, 2015, Capelon,
We're only a little over halfway. Holy shit. Bro, I'm so fucking tired.
I've been chugging along. I'm like, there's no way there's...
I thought we were approaching the end. This has only been 2 years worth of speedrunning. Holy shit.
That's
It's been so action-packed, I thought we had a whole goddamn, like, decade worth of lore. Thanks to Prime Turk. I don't know, man. I think I'm too tired. I am so fucking tired from today. I'm going to bed.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, plus we have to get up early. Alright, thanks everyone for tuning in. Everyone who donated, big thanks. New subs, welcome aboard. Sub means a lot, so thanks for subbing. Enjoy the emotes, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. See ya.
Night. Oh my god. I'm so glad you called that.
I'm super tired.